My dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, today our Mother Church is celebrating the solemnity of the Ascension of our Lord. The Ascension of Jesus in this context becomes a celebration of the extraordinary fact that our humanity, in all its variety, in all its vulnerability, has been taken by Jesus into the heart of the divine life. A man with God is on the throne. That hymn goes on. Quite a shocking line if you start thinking about it. Ascension of our Lord, of course, is first of all good news about humanity itself. The humanity that we all know to be stained, wounded, imprisoned in various ways. This humanity, yours and mine, is still capable of being embraced by God, shot through with God's glory, received and welcomed in the burning hearts of reality itself. Jesus takes our human nature, yours and mine, to the heart of God, and he speaks to God, his Father, in a human voice. In heaven, the language they speak is human. Our words are heard at the very center of burning heart of reality. Jesus had gone before us into the darkest place of human reality. He has picked up the sounds that he hears. And think of what those sounds are. The quiet cries of the abused child, the despairing tears of the corona infected. In these last few days, surrounded and threatened by the increase of rapid spread of COVID-19, especially Chennai. He picks up the cry of the hungry and the forgotten. He hears the human beings that nobody else hears. And he calls us to say, you listen true. He makes his own the cynical dismissal of faith by the sophisticated and says through it to the underlying need. He makes his own the joy and celebration and thanksgiving of human beings going about their routine work and finding their fulfillment in ordinary, prosaic, box standard love and faithfulness. All of that is taken to the throne of Godhead, to the Father's breast. All of that on the throne of eternity in the burning heart of truth and reality. So yes, indeed, the Ascension is a celebration of the glory of humanity, the unlikely possibilities of people like you and me, the eternal potential locked up in the muddled, struggling lives, and the celebration too of God's capacity through his Holy Spirit to reach into those parts of humanity that are so far from glorious, that are rebellious and troubled and broken, to breathe through them, to take them home, to drop them in that fire and melt them and recast them. There is a story of a young man making the decision to leave his girlfriend to join the seminary. It was a difficult parting for them because they had been extremely close and was true friends. Many years later, this young man, now a priest, met the sister of his friend and asked her why she had never married. The sister looked at the young priest and said, "You men never understand. My sister so idealized you that no one could ever measure up to what you were and continue to be for her. Departures, as painful as they may be, allow us to experience the presence of loved ones in different ways. After the pain of parting, we experience those whom we love and are absent from us in new ways without the irritations caused by character differences, habits, which affects us negatively physical faults, etc. We can appreciate the loved one in more perfect way. That is why we only really appreciate what others are for us when they are no longer with us. Absence gives us something which presence cannot give. Physical absence brings on presence in a new, different way. It's a presence which inspires and strengthens and gives us the impulse to do great things because of the one who is loved but is no longer present physically. That is why persons have built monuments to honor parents and loved ones. Today we celebrate the feast of the Ascension. Pope Saint Leo the Great, meditating on this event in the life of Jesus, tells us, "For the Son of Man, dearly beloved, was revealed more perfectly and more solemnly as the Son of God. Once he had returned to the glory of his Father's majesty, and in the mysterious way, he began to be more present to them in his Godhead, once he had become more distant in his humanity." That's why Jesus, in the Gospel of St. John, tells his disciples, "It is good for you that I go, because if I don't go, the Spirit cannot come to you." The Spirit, the new presence of Jesus, would move the disciples to undertake and be successful at the seemingly impossible. They would take seriously the words of Jesus, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you." These formerly cowardly disciples would do this because of the presence of Jesus with them. "And behold, I am with you always until the end of the age." This has been the experience of the church down to the age. The presence of Jesus in his disciples has inspired them to do great and glorious things. This presence has inspired and strengthened martyrs. This presence have inspired and strengthened saints like Francis, who got off his horse to embrace the leprosy patient, Saint Damien of Molache, who dedicated himself to the care of lepers, finally becoming one with them himself. Mother Teresa of Kolkata, giving herself to those dying abandoned on the streets. And Saint John Paul II, who forgave the one who attempted to assassinate him. It is the same presence of Jesus with us. This presence strengthens us to forgive an errant son or daughter. This presence strengthens us to fight against some habitual sin or conquer. It is this presence which in the difficult moments assures us of the love of the Father. It is this presence which enables us, as it did Saint Damien and others, to do the difficult things for Christ. May we always be aware of this presence in our lives. May we always come to that presence, and above all, may we always be thankful. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, today in the context of COVID-19, till this day, all over the world, almost 54 lakhs of people are infected by COVID-19. And in our country, 1,25,000 people are infected. And the place where we live, in Tamil Nadu, almost 15,000 people are infected by COVID-19. And what is our response? My dear brothers and sisters, today, we who are His body, the fullness of Him who fills all in all, have to hear with His ears and see with His eyes. In the midst of the humanity flailing and struggling, failing and suffering, we see and we hear what God can do. We remember that Christ has raised our human nature in the clouds at the God's right hand, And our compassion is deepened 100-fold. Our awareness of pain is deepened 100-fold. And by the gift of the Spirit, our hope is deepened 1,000-fold. And my dear brothers and sisters, today as we celebrate this great feast, let us remember God is with us. He assures His presence with us, the place where we live. In a very special way, we pray for the people of Chennai. Amen.